Every time you tune in, you're sure it's going to be great. This is the Great Debaters Contest, Mombasa edition, and I am Austin Nyombo.
I am Mariam Bishar. Welcome to the show. We have coast giants Matuga High School and Sheikh Khalifa going head-to-head in this debate, and they're debating on a very hot political subject. Should Kenya have rotational presidencies to ensure ethnic balance? We'll have the debaters take the stage now. First proposer, you have 3 minutes.
In Vision 2035, I want to become the president of Kenya. So I hope all of you will be available to vote for me. Rotational. That is moving around or going around and coming back to the same point you started and starting again, going round. We say about presidency. That is the act of governing a state or a country. What about ethnic? That is or ethnicity. That is the belief of people who have the same cultural practices. And leadership. That is the act of leading your subjects to a vision and a goal. The ideology of selfishness and superiority in some of the tribes in Kenya will be put to an end. Let's take example of the Kikuyu in our country, Mr. Maina. We have this saying that says, Modo wa nyoba, meaning that we are the people of the house. So it shows us that those people have taken that leadership seat as theirs and they're not going to give it to another tribe. Would you want that to happen to your own tribe? Wouldn't you not want your tribe to lead? Regional development. Everyone who will be represented everyone who will be represented by a president from their own community. Obviously, the president will want to go and develop the region. The example of Northern Eastern. If we have a president from that place, the people who live in Northern Eastern, trust me, the place will be developed. And everyone will have a taste of a piece of cheese in that community. Well, I would like to pose a question to all the audience. And my question is, will you not want to have your community lead? Will you not want to give a history to your children that us as the Kauma, us as the Digos, us as a Mijikenda as a whole, we had a president. Not only the Kikuyus, the Luos, not only the Kalenjin in our country. We need a change. We need a break. That is from Caroline Mumbi, from the Pearl of Kwale County, Matuga Girls. Be my guest.
Opposition, you have 3 minutes for your opening statement.
Kenya should have rotational presidency to ensure ethnic balance in leadership. My grandfather, who is late, he died in 2013 May, told me a story. He was there before independence. So he said one time he was from Makerere University and he was standing on a bus stop. Then a white woman and a white child stood there. Then the little child was looking at my grandfather. Then my grandfather smiled and said, "Hi." Then the child shouted to the mother, "Mommy, mommy, it can speak." That was racism. Then I said, "How do you compare it during that time and now?" He said, "We just exchanged a sharper sword for a more blunt sword, one that pains, a different way of death. Instead of shooting a person and dying instantly, you put poison, sweet at first in the food, but you die a very detrimental death in the end." I salute you all. Definition of terms is the beginning of wisdom, as I say. Rotational presidency. This is the alternation of leaders, especially presidents, based on ethnic and racial lines. Ensure to make sure that something happens or is definite. Ethnic, connected with or belonging to a nation, race, or people that share a cultural tradition. Balance, a situation in which different things exist in equal, correct, or good amounts. Leadership, the state opposition of being a leader. Rotational presidency does not uphold democracy. What is democracy? Democracy is the rule of the people, in summary, generally, and the people have a right to independently choose their leaders. Now, when you put rotational democracy, it's now this ethnic group, then the next time another ethnic group. You have already minimized the candidates that are supposed to be there. And maybe one person does not conform to your views. The person maybe sees a person of another ethnic group that is not supposed to get into presidency at that time as suitable for the job. Lack of continuity of development and policies. If you base the presidency, the election of the president, on ethnic lines, you are limiting the development, their policies. Why? They do not match. See, leadership, as I view it, is supposed to be on policies, on how you share your views, how you want your people to develop, not what ethnic line you want to come in presidency. Now, if people differ, there will be confusion. This time one enters, puts certain development projects. When the next one enters, he repeals all the projects because he believes in a different way. Kennedy Mutua, Sheikh Khalifa School.
Cross-examinations now. Matuga, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I'm Eunice Matuga Girls. I'm here to propose the motion of the day, which says that Kenya should have a rotational presidency to ensure ethnic balance in leadership. We all know that as we are going to have a rotational presidency in our country, we are going to promote equality among the communities which exist in our country. This is because we are going to see each other as brothers. For example, this year, 2017, we are going to elect a leader, let's say from the Luo community. It's just an example. So this will mean that the next time we are going to choose a leader from another community, what will happen next? There is that coordination and leadership experience in all the countries or in all the communities that are going to be involved there. Then, another thing is about, it will promote political stability. In which way? For example, we are having a country like Nigeria. Nigeria, it is a country which had been basing its governments on the rotational system. So we are going to find that each and every community will have that test of leadership. It will feel that, okay, this year, although I'm going to give my chance to another community, next year, at least we are going to be us who are going to be elected as the leaders. This will mean that the next year, when we're going to have another leader again, there'll be no that like clashes, communal clashes, like this year you guys have taken the chance, next year you'll take it again. No, we are going to have that spirit in which next year we'll give you a chance. Therefore, this year, just sit, relax, and give it to us. It will bring something we call recognition of the marginalized communities in our country. This because there are some communities in Kenya, for example, those who are in Turkana, it's like they don't exist. Yeah, they are there, but they don't exist. They're as if they've been forgotten in this country. So we are going to have rotational presidency. These people will be given a chance to give out their views, to be chosen as leaders so that we can have that equalness in balancing of the economic development. Thank you.
Sheikh Khalifa, you have 3 minutes for your rebuttal.
Well, once they said, hear my name and take a good look. I'm stinging like a bee, floating like a fat butterfly. That means that I'm Muhammad Ali, a Kenyan by choice. They say that they want rotational presidency to ensure ethnical balance. Well, I say that it will bring about violence. We've already seen this. Let's open our pages in history. 1990 to 1994, Rwanda, genocide. Let's open back the pages. Let's go to another country. Let's go to Nigeria currently. The North are feeling marginalized. That's why we have Boko Haram, terrorism. Well, she talked about regional development. Well, borrow a leaf from Franklin D. Roosevelt, the 32nd president of the United States of America. He said, being in politics is like being a football coach. You need to be smart enough to understand the game and dumb enough to know that it's important. We are in Kenya and we have a devolved system. Devolution helps us to develop our own countries. That means that we can be represented at the lower level. It's not a must to be at the throne to be known that you're the emperor. She also talked about selfishness and superiority. Well, guess what? I'm proud. I'm Muhammad Ali. I want to tell my children that I'm Muhammad Ali and I once participated in the Great Debaters Contest and I'm the future governor of Mombasa. During that time, of course, I'll be the governor of Mombasa. I don't want to tell my children that I'm an Arab. Hey, you know what? There was once an Arab ruling Mombasa, Said Said. How about that? You need to encourage yourself as an individual first. I would like to say that rotational presidency lowers the collective view it focuses on collective view and not individual views. Of course, we might actually be from the same ethnic background, but it doesn't matter because you're not worth. How can I give someone who's not worth my vote? Some communities lack leadership skills. For example, kudos to the 43rd tribe in Kenya, the newest tribe, the Makonde. I mean, they've actually just joined Kenya in a fact manner. But do you think that are they ready? Do they have any scholar whom is known worldwide? Do they have any scholar whom is known countrywide? Think about it. I also think that it is limiting. This is because the last president might have just developed a new project and needs the rest of the years, to continue for the continuity of the project. But then suddenly you have to push him down and push in a new president into our throats. He might cut off the development system and everything. I would like to finish by saying that we need to adapt disciplines and not ethnicity. For example, like in the US, we have 4 major blocks, that is Republican, Democrats, Independents, and the disinterested. So instead of focusing on ethnic backgrounds, let's focus on these policies. Thank you.
The proposers have been asked to substantiate their claims that the northeastern part of the country is underdeveloped. And of course, the opposition have been asked if they don't favor a rotational presidency, then what is the best way to ensure a balance in the leadership of this country? We'll have them respond to those questions now. Third proposer, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm going for a debate contest. It's in the coast region. Why? Because it is rotating. It is not just based in one region. That is why we need this rotational presidency. That's why I'm here, right? The first opposer talked about lack of democracy. Yeah. Do we now have democracy in Kenya? It is just there. But are all communities represented? Are the Kenyans not complaining that we are lacking democracy? Are they not complaining that only one tribe is leading the country? Are they not? He also spoke about different ideas will bring about confusion. Is this real? I have a different idea. I bring it to you. You have another one. You come to the presidency seats. You give me the idea you have. I bring mine. We blend them. Won't they make a better Kenya than the one we're having right now? The second opposer talked about violence. Conflict is brought about by violence. Violence can arise anywhere. We are having 1, 2, or 3 people. It's not just a matter of having one president or maybe 2 or 3 different clans in the presidency seats. We have conflict, we are having the violence. Why can't I call the community that governed the country just the year behind and the other one that governed the country the year behind that, bring them together, make them talk to their people so that they can understand what's brought about the conflict and how we are going to solve it. Then he also spoke about encouraging yourself as an individual. Shall we not be promoting selfishness? If I am selfish, I want to promote myself as an individual. What will other people think? How are they going to benefit from this? I'll be selfish, keep everything to myself, benefit the things I think I can do for myself. How will the other people live? How are we going to take Kenya to a greater level? Let us have rotational presidency so that everyone can get into the seat, so that we can have different ideas, blend them, make a better Kenya. Let me answer my brother who asked about Northeastern. Let us compare Northeastern and the Central or Kisumu or Mombasa. Is it developed in that way? It might be developed, but if we compare it, it is low, very low.
Sheikh Khalifa, you have 3 minutes to respond.
We always say that life ends when you stop dreaming. Hope ends when you stop believing. And love ends when you stop caring. So you dream hope, and love makes your life beautiful. I dream of making my country, Kenya, great. And I believe that we can make it great by simply abolishing the thought that rotational presidency will ensure ethnic balance. My name is Said Saling from Sheikh Khalifa. I'd like to first answer what a member of the audience asked. She asked that if ethnicity will not bring in development in our country, then what should we look in a leader? when choosing a leader, we look at the leadership qualities. We look at the principles of that leader. What vision does he have on the development of our country? We should not base our leaders on simply the ethnic lines. So leaders should be leaders should be chosen on their leadership qualities and not ethnic lines. Because what's the need of we choosing a poor leader? Of we choosing a leader whom we cannot see development in him? Just because, it's time for the Turkana to produce a leader. Must we force ourselves to get into darkness? No. We need to be logical. Leaders need to be chosen on what perspective they have for their country. A leader is not there to represent part of Kenya, but to represent the whole Kenya. By we enforcing ethnicity clearly shows that we want the leader to focus on where he comes from first, then the rest of Kenya will follow. If an ethnic leader rules at one time, he can favor people from his or her ethnicity, thereby leading to violence. I'd like to give you this example. In the end of 2012, Kenya, we had a problem of the MRC. They were complaining that, Pwani si Kenya. Why? They're saying that during independence, the then king of the Zanzibar signed a treaty with the Kenyan government that after 50 years of independence, the coast region be reclaimed back by the people from Zanzibar. Actually, if we really look deeper into this matter, it is not just that treaty. It's because our leader, the then leader of Kenya, was simply biased. We as the coastarians, we do not have our representative. By then, we did not have a representative in the top level of governance in Kenya. So the people simply used the issue of MRC as an excuse. Because if it were because of MRC, they could have informed the government some 2 or 3 years prior to them striking. And I'd like to end by saying that I shout, not because I have a loud voice, but for those without a voice to be heard. Kenya should not adopt rotational presidency to ensure ethnic balance.
We'll hear final submissions now. Matuga, you have 1 minute.
Come, baby, come. That was from Miguna Miguna, right? Miguna proposed for this system. Why don't we try and adapt it? What is the point in crying every day that only one community is governing the country? Let us try something else. It is worth trying. Let us just try so that if it doesn't work, we can sit down and say, let us propose something else other than just having 1 or 2 communities governing the country. So please join me in this race. Let us fight for rotational presidency. Thank you.
Sheikh Khalifa, you also have 1 minute.
Offer an inclusive government. Now, the diversity of our ethnicity is the beauty of our country, but that must not be the basis of why we should elect a leader. I have a dream that my children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by their content of by the content of their character. Martin Luther King Jr. I have a dream that our leaders will not be elected based on ethnic lines, but on their leadership quality, on what they have to offer to the people. I am a product of a Kikuyu mother and a half Kamba, half Tanzanian father. And look how I turned out. They stayed together. They never got married because of their ethnicity. It was because of their love, what they had to offer to each other, not where they came from. Thank you.
Caroline Mumbi, you did very well. You exuded a lot of confidence and passion. You seem to have understood the motion well, but you could not give us the points. I think your good sense of humor really carried us off, so we were waiting. Where are these points? Then we could not find them. But you did well. You understood the motion well. You explained it well. I think that was commendable. Eunice, you did not cross-examine the first speaker on the opposing side. However, I liked your passion. Then Aheri, very confident. You played your role well. However, you also played the role of speaker number 2. You actually did the rebuttaling. But you realized towards the end and did your part well. So I think that was very smart, the way you countered it all.
Kennedy, I wish you began your debate with your clinching statement. Your clinching statement was good, but then when you were arguing as the first speaker, there are some things which were not really coming out well. So take a look on that. Then Mohammedi Ali, you had a very excellent introduction, good mastery of the topic, the Rwanda example, the Nigeria examples, good. You did some good rebuttaling. Just work on the coherency of some of your arguments, and then observe time. Observe time. Said Salim, you're an excellent debater. I could feel the passion and conviction in your arguments. Keep time. You overutilized your time, and that worked against you in awarding the marks.
My question to Matuga girls is this. Role playing. First speaker, second speaker, that speaker, you need to observe that so that at least everybody knows their role. The other thing is the question on the motion. Probably we could achieve some peace out of this. There's some people who are grieved and feel like the last community that was given an example of, they feel like they will never make it to the presidency. Could this be a way of at least ensuring every Kenyan feels satisfied in this? So fairness, stability, we wanted to hear such examples. And where does this probably rotation happen? Where does it happen? Maybe you could have given us examples that this place has this rotational thing. And so probably Kenya could adapt to that. To Sheikh Khalifa, I think this was a new you in a way because we have seen you before. And so my question to you was, which was asked by the audience, what's the alternative that you are giving us then if we should not go rotational? That wasn't answered as well. All the best though.
To the scores now. Matuga High School, you garnered 62%. Please give them a warm round of applause. Thank you. Sheikh Khalifa, you garnered 68%, making you win.
Congratulations to Sheikh Khalifa and also to the two teams on stage. Our studio audience, thank you very much. And our audience back at home, engage us in conversation on Twitter at Great Debaters EA and all our other social media platforms. I've been your host, Austin Nyambok.
And I am Mariam Bishar. Thank you for watching.
Matuga girls and Sheikh Khalifa just left the stage. Sheikh Khalifa gave Matuga girls hell of a show. Can we ask Matuga girls how they felt? Matuga?
We made these guys sweat, though they won, but it's always an next time.
So, but I've seen you guys are happy. I think you're okay with what you did.
We are so much justice. It was our first time, so it's even academic for us.
I love the confidence. Thank you. All the best. I'm sure we'll see you another round. Sheikh Khalifa?
It's a fairly good debate, and we think that we couldn't actually give all our juice in, but there's always a next time for everything.
That's how we do Great Debaters. There's always a next time. We encourage confidence. Stay tuned.